Testing. Hello. Welcome to Friday. Final day of the week to get a trade in. I have since yesterday I've been watching videos left, right, and center on what to do. And I've come to the conclusion that TradingView kind of sucks. But it's also the one thing to use that is most accurately going to give me a trade. I shouldn't be building my confluences here. I should be building them on TradingView. But the problem is there's a dual problem here, right? Because of the 10-minute delay that platform has, they have more of an opportunity to get the markets the way they ought to be, right? But there's a problem. Current price action being the way it is. 10 minutes is a long time, especially when I'm entering off of the 1 minute time frame. It's a problem. How do I fix this? Because right now I cannot purchase, I cannot attempt to get a data package plan. TradingView charges for those. Everywhere I look, everywhere I go, the remedy's the same. Find a broker with an integrated data package and work with that. Okay? Because of that, and my unwillingness to look at two different applications for an entry, I'm going to alleviate myself of a potential loss through the use of two platforms with conflicting charts. So, today, this trade, this attempt, this recording, this video, is going to be solely focused on this. Trade blocker. Past 5 days have been in the up. Okay, cool. And order block, strong reaction, and move higher. Cool. This is without question an uptrend. Let's go to S&P, see if we have something a little more pleasant to look at. Four hours do not have much. We just swept this high here. So right now, according to both, because I'm looking at years past now, can't go further back than March before 2016. This is the highest point at the moment. and we're in an uptrend. Do I think we're going to reverse? I don't know, because we swept past this. It's taken up the liquidity above this now. Is there potential for it to go higher? Yeah. Yes, there is. It being the final day of the week, I imagine what's going to happen is it'll continue higher for the uptrend for the fair value gaps. We inverted on that candle, created a new candle here. This candle filled this order block here, or yeah, this order block here. You can see price moving higher. There is potential we could see a down candle today, if not today, next week. We're due for a retrace at some point throughout this. We have relative equal highs here. We have trend line, or highs, relative equal lows, as well as trend line low here. We have a super strong setup here for relative equal lows. Liquidity, price wants to take this out. Price wants to take this out. I know it does. What to look for in an uptrend on a high time frame on the hourly for the best mode of entry. This is the real question at the moment. How best should I look at this? I'll mark this right here as a potential spot for take profit if we're looking at the downtrend, because there are no highs. There's no up that I could really look forward to on the S&P or the NASDAQ. This is the highest point it's reached so far. Working on this chart alone, stuff. Let's also take a look at news right quick, because I know news is a thing. We got two folders, one at 8:30, one at 10. One's a red CPI. I'm not treating it like a CPI. We have an orange folder. It's usually had low impact on market, and it looks like we're gonna have low impact news today as well. So, in essence, decent day to trade. Decent day. Right now, there are no lagging charts. Looks like we're getting exactly what we're after here. There is a small SMC divergence on the hourly here. Neither are lagging behind though, so I don't think you can count that. Yeah, we can't count that one. Let's go to 30, see what we can see here, because clearly there's something we can like hit. Yeah, two different sets of lows. That low there, this low here. Small retrace here. Looks like we're gonna have a breaker block up here, right there. Again, small retrace. We have a low. Closure's there. A low. Just did that. Is that a break of structure off of this? No. This closes. That'll be a break of structure on the 5-minute. Technically, this right here swept previous high. We swept this high right here off of London session. I'm not taking a trade until after market open. I've learned my lesson. It sucks that when I zoom out, I can't find any confluences outside of directly what's in front of me, because typically the way I see TJR's videos work, he'll see this, right, and then find confluences higher, confluences in the middle, confluences down low, and it's pretty easy. If I had to guess, if I had to say, my thought process is fairly simple. Look at what I have in front of me and just work off of it. My, how complicated that sounds, right? $30-minute. No break of structure there. This high here is what swept that. This right here as the actual closure above that. We never had a break of structure within this, so I'm guessing, I'm going to say this is our breaker block here. Repeat move. We had a low, but it didn't close below the previous. We had order block here in the same price range of the breaker block. That's what caused the sweep here. Cool. We now have a retrace back down, which is no biggie. On the hourly, pretty much says the same thing. Order block, breaker block, sweep of previous high. From that, we get retrace. No biggie on that one either. Sorry, I say previous high. This, because the retrace caused this, creating the high, and then we had retrace back up, repeat move. It moved down, but didn't close below the low, giving us an order block. So we can see price move higher. We have fair value gap here, saying price might actually continue higher, assuming in the next 46 minutes this closes. This fair value gap says it'll go higher on the hourly. 30 minutes kind of says the same thing. However, this fair value gap actually fills the breaker block, and due to this retrace, we don't have a fair value gap here. So, higher time frame holds higher power. The fair value gap on it is valid. We just have to understand that that fair value gap also is filling breaker block, which means a potential reversal. It's no longer a continuation confluence because it's been filled. We now have to move on for a new move. I think I'm implementing that correctly. Is it the same story over here? We have fair value gap here. Cool. That does fill the breaker block there. What about the hourly? Does it say the same thing? Yeah, fair value gap there. And that is within, that is the exact range of the breaker block here. So, yeah. I think I'm doing pretty good so far. This is good. That's good. We have trendline lows here. How do you relative equal lows there? We have trendline lows literally all through. All of that right there is trendline lows. This was the sweep that caused push up. I think this is, that wasn't yesterday's trade. this right here was. Except it would have been on NASDAQ right there. My trade idea was in fact wrong. Though it continued lower, it still wasn't correct. Yeah, stopped out on the very next like move up, which bites. But meh. We're gonna drag that way. Oh wow, I nailed that almost. Very, very cool. What am I looking for on the hourly? I'm looking for a key level to get hit, really. I'm looking for this closure to happen. I'm looking for this fair value gap to form. I'm looking for on the, well, shoot. If this closes up completely, I'd be looking for the order block to get filled at that point. For the order block to get filled, we would need to be moving on to a new move, which would be either up or down, and it's going to have us a fair value gap of some kind. It will either appear on the 30-minute or the 1 hour. Actually, I'd be quicker to expect it appear on the 30-minute. The hourly, it'll fill it, but it won't close below it. I'm going to pause the video. Yeah, just waiting on the next move. Think about it before, but we also have trend line lows here. Whole bunch of relative equal lows right there. Price could be drawn to pick up. I think what is going to happen, because these are also relative equal lows, price is going to come down, manipulate these, right? And from there, we'll see it continue higher. So I think our best key level is this right here. And even if it doesn't hit all the way down here, we have a second key level with this fair value gap, right? This fair value gap would need to be filled completely, and the moment of truth, really, closure below, but not so low as to break this structure here. And even if it breaks this structure here, I think the bias is still there. I think price is going to come down here and manipulate these. It'll sweep the lows, close above this, and then push higher from that. I think that makes the most sense. I wanted to point that out though, because I don't think I noted that last time. Last time I said we had a whole bunch of relative equal lows here. We had trendline lows all throughout this. Pretty sure that's what I said a second ago. But looking at this right here, that's a strong confluence. Price could come down, manipulate these, and then push higher. We're just waiting for it to drop. Do I want to take a trade on S&P or NASDAQ is the question. I think we'll look for S&Ts throughout to get the best of it. NASDAQ will be preferable just because it's a large move. If it manipulates this and pushes higher, that's a pretty dang large move to have profit from. Though it's a little easier to see happening on the S&P 500, I believe we'll have an S&T right at the level of the first of that. This is saying price wants to continue lower. This is saying price continues higher. I think the lagging index at this very point in time is the S&P 500, just because price continued higher even though this said it would go lower. And because of this creating the trendline low that I see before me, I think it's going to come down, manipulate this low in particular, and then push higher. When it does that, it will actually sweep this low here as well, because again, the S&P is a lagging index that price is going to come down lower. But for this note, right? So the thought process is we'll let it come down, we'll let it sweep this low specifically. From this low, it'll continue higher. And at that point, we'll see, at this point, at this key level, we'll see the manipulation in it. Can it be seen and set on that? Yes, it can. This low can be seen, and this low can be seen as well. So we'll just wait for that on the NASDAQ to happen. We'll see this occur. Once we see it form, from there we will take note of it and then watch it continue with its stuff. I'll pause the video again because not much is happening. We've got another 31 minutes for this candle to close, and we might not see anything really happen until an hour later when market opens, as well as when news drops, and that'll be around, just on the same page, 8:30, which is in literally 1 minute. News is about to drop. Outside of that, we have one more at 10. I'm not looking to take a trade at 10. I'm looking to be in a trade before. If we are in the trade at 10, so be it. Dang, did I run my phone dead overnight? Oh, no, I did. Good. Either case, I'll pause the video now. BRB. Okay. We are. Move, right? We're on the 30-minute, not the hour. Same story on both, though. We have price coming down. Boom, there it goes. Swooping that low. Swooping the relative lows. Back to the 30-minute for a better view. Lagging mode will be the S&P because, one, NASDAQ was lagging from before, right? It went up through this. The S&P was lagging behind the NASDAQ as price went up. Now it's flipped because guess what? Price is coming down low enough to sweep these lows out and to reverse back up to the upside. Ultimately, price is going to continue higher, but we were wanting to see it come down and take out these lows here. Something to note, we have not seen a break of structure yet, though we did get an inverse for value gap and a retest of previous level on relative equal lows for this move down. In true fashion, I do want to say that this looks like a solid breaker block, right? From this breaker block being respected, we see it move up, and then this move down respecting the breaker block because it's there. We should be seeing a liquidity sweep up to the high side, or a move up. So great, it sweeps that. I don't have any take profit outside of this right here specifically. That being the case, I don't know what to look for, realistically speaking. I'm going to open this app only for one reason. I'd like to get a take profit. There's one right there. There. It's the same story here. We're gonna for the S&P, we have these highs up here that it might want to target. And these are some crazy ups that we're looking for right here. Prices shot up a lot, and even on this chart, we can see price just ripping up, and just fair value gap after fair value gap. Constant. We closed this fair value gap on this one, though it's still moving. Our want is to see price continue higher, but at the same time, with the respect that it could wind up either consolidating or breaking structure and moving back down. The hourly is pretty much in line with what we were seeing on the other chart just 10 minutes beforehand. No break of structure, price moving down. Generally speaking, uptrend with zero break of structure within any of this move here. Same story on this here. Our key level take profit wise is 22,873.75, 22,873. Was that NASDAQ? Wrong one, wrong one. This one. That was NASDAQ. 22,873.75. There's key level 1 right there. Boom. Say key level. Take profit level. Outside of this high here, we have all the way up there. The highs are relatively the same. Let's do this. Let's do this. I have an idea. To help me out, I'm going to do this. $6271.25. That's currently where our first take profit level is there. What I'm going to do is help myself out a little bit while this is forming. That's good there. I've got a little bit before I have to really pay attention to this. Although we did have this key level hit right here, technically we could move on down to the next confluence on the 5. So we are still 30 minutes out-ish. We are 2 minutes out from that candle starting. If that were the honest case, we'd be looking at the 5 minute from here. This 5 minute, we have key level hit. What we'd be looking is a break of structure out of this current downtrend. We want it to break up above this high here. Either that or S&T divergence and or something else, giving us confluence and confirmation that this was a key level hit, that they did sweep this. That tells us price is going to move higher in the opposite direction. We want a break of structure out of this. I'm not seeing any S&T divergences at the moment. Yeah. Down, up, down, up, down, up. So we're just waiting on that. Outside of that, we're going to move back up to the hour to give ourselves a better. Actually, no, we would need to be on the 5 minute. I don't know, would the 5 minute work? Let's see. Wait, this is the wrong chart. What am I doing? I can't use this one because it won't have anything up high. I need to use this one specifically and find everything in this that's going to give me my take profits for this zone that's missing here. That way it's not a giant leap from this point up to this point. It's key levels I can actually hit. 30 minutes. Because there is no fair value gap at the moment. It's been filled completely. This is current price level. We just hit this right here. We're looking for more key level, which would be right here. Take this one right here. Take this one right here. And for funsies, we'll do this one here. Same story on this one. We want to go to the 30-minute on NASDAQ. We'll bring this back up to the hour. Reset chart view. This way we have our current level here. We take this, and we can see all of our prices on this side, as well as where they need to be in correlation to this price range. Move back to here. Yep, we're still doing that. What about this? Hello there. Do we have break of structure on the 5-minute for this? No. The SMT divergences, I'm not seeing any at the moment. Though it does look like the S&P is lagging behind the NASDAQ at the moment. We're going to pay attention to the NASDAQ for the break of structure confluences. Looks like we do have sweepage of these relative lows here. Let's see what happens. I'm looking for a long at the moment. That's my current bias. We're going to go ahead and move back over to here. We're on the 30-minute. We're going to zoom way to flip out. We have our one key level right here, and we want to see something like that right there, actually. Something like this. I'll happily look at that. Hello. For me to have marked this already, you should be able to display a little bit more. Come on now. There you go. Took its sweet time with that one. This is current price action. We want to go here. Cool. Zoom in, hit our 30-minute marker. Where did it put us? Come on now. Once again, we have another minute for that to close. Same story here, following the trend. Maybe actually targeting these lows too. Oh, we'll see. That being the case, move back over here. Okay, how about the 15-minute? That's too small. 30 minutes. Seconds. That works. there. Okay. Okay, cool. This is cool. We have our key levels. Don't care about this one because it was taken. We do care about these three up here, though. We want to mark them over here as well. We're going to go here first so we can see these. We have 6271 on that. I'll move down here. At 6271, what's the lowest? 6246.75. Six two four six. Cool. What's the next one? 6254. Let's go ahead and put it to 6259. Looks like it's dead center of the 271246. So 6259.25. 6259. That's my current take profit zones. That is a steep move up. Very, very steep move up. Looks like we're going to get that same move on down like we did on the NASDAQ over here. That's cool. We have a few less, I think, on this. Yeah, we have 3, unlike the other one. 22812.25. 22812. Oh wow, that's way up there. Eight one two. That's a steep up in either case. 22848. That is insanely high. That's what I have to look forward to, though. That's my take profit levels. Either I'm able to hit those and we're smooth sailing, or we continue in the direction we're going in, and my bias is very, very different. Levels of take profit on the downside are pretty much as follows. I'm looking at this one here that was just swept. I'm looking at this one here, relative equal lows. Looking at this here, trendline lows. Looking at relative equal lows here. There's a whole bunch more down here we could probably target, but honestly, I'm not going to jinx myself. We just hit this low here. Honestly, at the moment, what in the world am I listening to? Stupid ad. Go away. What we got? Back to Eden? Good. Her voice sounded nice, but man, did it have such an ad static over it. Very annoying to listen to. Key level hit there. It's not a key level hit, that's just a level. A low. What does the 30-minute look like right now? Obvious break of structure. We have 20 minutes for this to close, which is completely fine with me. Outside of that, we have, again, first key level here. Outside of London session low, this is relative equal lows. Mid-Asian session. So we initially thought the order block would be respected on this move down. It retested it and actually swept all of the lows off of this here. Right now we're looking for a manipulation from this on a reversal up. The hour is pretty much saying the same thing. Sweep of all the equal lows right here. Then move up higher. We still have a fair value gap there. The only break of structure was on this candle when we broke past this low in particular. Same story on the S&P. Yep. Break of structure off this low here. So fair value gap there. That has not been inversed. We have fair value gap here. That's also still safe. It's actually just barely touching it. It's the same story here. So that fair value gap is present, but nope, it's inverted on that. So S&P is definitely lagging behind now. We are 100% going lower on the S&P, and then from the NASDAQ, we'll make a decision on the S&P. My bias is that price is going to go higher just because of the daily and the way hourly was earlier. I'm actually curious to see what 4 hours have to say. Yeah, 4 hours says price is going higher. This is a small retrace. We have relative equal lows way down here, but I'm not expecting it to jump all the way from up there to down here. That's just not how that works. Yeah. The hour again, just to get a good view of it. Keep that there. We have Asian, London, New York Stock Exchange open. Market is open right now. It is 9:13. Oh, no, it's not. We have another 17 minutes before market opens. So we could be seeing a manipulation right now as we speak. This being swept off of that, we're looking for a break of structure as soon as they come back in session. I think I'm doing good so far off of this one. I think I am. That being said, I'm going to pause the video now. I'm going to wait patiently for market open and a break of structure off of everything else. Be right back. Okay, so if we going off of what I have discovered in the past, right? If this is to be treated like a liquidity sweep, our next confluence would be on the 5-minute. I'm using the wrong notes right here. Boom, right? We'd be looking for a break of structure, inverse fair value gap, or an S&T divergence to form. Well, we have a low here, a low here on the NASDAQ, and we're seeing a lower low being formed on the S&P, or relative equal low. Either case, pretty dang close to being S&T divergence on the 5-minute. Outside of that, we'll be looking on the 5-minute for something else. I'm pretty sure I was gonna say the 13, 12. Yeah, we're gonna have an S&T divergence. Okay, so what I was gonna say is I think the never mind. I thought one was lagging behind the other. Thought we would have it. I was wrong. Big oof. Oh, hello. Market is open. It is in fact open now. We're still looking for either an inverse fair value gap or a break of structure. It's a very small. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that. We're going to wait patiently for whatever this is to do its thing. I unpaused that because I thought we'd have an S&T divergence, but it does not appear that we had one. I mean, from here to here, that does look like an S&T divergence, but how do you identify a low? Down, up, lowest point between the two. And right now, from here to here, pretty much matches from here to here. And the highs are relatively the same right now. From up, down, high to the next. That's what we'd be looking at. Up, down, high. Sure, they're lower. Oh, hello. That's lower. This is not a high. This is. Just like this is not a high. This is. The two are different. This is saying lower. This is saying higher. Price has gone lower and higher. Equal to this and lower than this. Same story here. Higher than this, lower than that. So the question becomes which is true and which is not. Are we going to get a break of structure to the downside, which it's starting to look like that on the NASDAQ? Let's say break of structure to the downside. Are we going to get a break of structure continuing down, or are we going to get an actual break of structure to the upside right here, moving higher? We've pretty much crashed through the low of London session on this note here. Price does not know what it wants to do. Retest. This might be an order block right here. Because this was a sweep, retrace, breaker block, order block, potential sweep on the back upside. We need a break of structure though. We have a minute to do that. It's got to break structure before we can. Hi, thank you, much appreciated. Got a minute for that to form. Hope the music isn't too loud for my headphones. You should be able to hear some piano playing. Hope you guys enjoy the selection of music too. So we didn't break structure, but we did go all over the place. We respected the breaker block now that's formed here. We had a trace up, back down, strong reaction off of this, retrace down, back up. Respected the breaker block. Price continued moving in its directions. Thing is, if this were an order block, we'd see price shoot much lower, but I'm not seeing that. What I think is going to happen is we're going to have a closer up above this high here. right there, and it'll continue higher from that point forward. That looks like an order block right there. That disrespected this. May consolidate too. Did news? Let's refresh this. That did hit. We saw greater is good for currency. It was greater by 0.1%. This is hitting at 10. Should be later. Breakfast. I finally have a breakfast I can enjoy. Yay. Okay, so we had a breakage structure and an inverse value gap form at the same time. Now we're looking for one of two things to occur. We had a breaker block form here, order block, sweep of this previous high. Right now we're looking for a order block to the retrace downside right here, right? We don't want it to break structure. We want it to close above this low here. And just so we're clear, it's got to be this low right here. Once it closes above this low here, we can pretty much go from there to the 1 minute, look for a retrace, inverse breaker structure back to the upside. That'll be the manipulation, and from there we can move it back up.
That's currently what we're waiting on. That being the case, I'm not going to pause. I'm going to sit and wait patiently. I'm going to mute up though.
So as you saw on the Nasdaq, we had price come within equilibrium, respected it, continued higher. What we're waiting for now is a break of structure or an inverse rally gap to press buy on, and from there we'll have an entrance moving up. We saw on the S&P 500 here on the world. Okay, great. We see here on the S&P prices doing the same thing, moving up higher. We had on the 5 minute here, same situation. The value gap there, huge leg up there. Price went down into that, respected it. We're looking for the exact same thing to occur now. We have this here being a case. No break of structure yet. We know price wants to go higher though, so I will wait patiently. This is our equilibrium mode. For value gap within this right here. Again, we're looking on the 1 minute for a break of structure or an inverse for value gap. Just waiting for it. What's a break of structure out of an uptrend? A closure below a low. And an inverse for value gap spells itself out. It's a fair value gap that's closed within, or past, sorry, it's closed past after it's been formed. The idea is that it's going up. We need to we need it to close below that low. It won't bring it back in to equilibrium, but it will be an optimal entry point. No closer below low yet. S&P is going higher. Which means the Nasdaq is still one lagging behind at the moment. It'll follow suit. We want to see a break of structure or an inverse for value gap first. We don't have either of that on the S&P yet. Okay, so we have fair value gap formed on the 1 minute. Now we're just waiting for the retrace back down to invert that. That's a more defined fair value gap than we've had previously.
Again, no break of structure yet. We're going to wait patiently. I don't want to miss out on this trade, but at the same time, I know my patience. I'm going to wait patiently. Prices come within equilibrium. This is no longer needed. This also marks fairly well that fair value gap that was inverted, broke structure through, and then we could see price come back down within equilibrium, respect it, and move higher. Oh, that's come out early. Oh, no. It's about to be 10. Never mind. News just hit. I think it's less. Greater is good for forecasts. Previous to forecast has been lesser. I think it's less. S&P says more. Nope. It's lesser too. Okay, cool. We have a minute, 47 seconds for that to light up. I want to wait. I've seen 1, 2, 3, 4 fair value gaps now that have been inverted on the 1 minute. Why haven't I taken a trade yet? Because the idea is that price should come back down under the most recent fair value gap, invert it. So we have price at a discount, enter, and then price would rally higher. That's the goal. We broke structure right there. We'll continue higher from that. My stop loss. It's the hourly. We get placed right up above, or right at equilibrium, just to keep things simple. I take profit. I get that's probably a bad looking trade, but meh. In all honesty, meh. Stop loss. Right at equilibrium. Take profit. That is a distance up there. I think price is going to go this high. Not really, but at the same time, set it right here. This looks like a little better trade. We have our stop loss here. Take profit there. Confirm. I'm not going to change it. What I'm going to do, because I know the S&P 500 broke structure here. That break of structure is what the bias was off of, the confluence was, and I could have entered here. I really could have. But knowing that there was an SMCI divergence from before, I know it's going to happen again. So what's going to happen, my thought process is, price is going to come back down, retest this level on the NASDAQ and the S&P to confirm where price wants to move. It'll sweep this, maybe even something down here. Don't know what. We don't have any relative equal highs within this. No trend lines. So I think it'll come down just a little bit, and then it'll actually continue higher from there. I am going to pause video now until we have either gotten really close to stop loss or really good to take profit. We'll see. Am I confident in my ideas, in my trade? Yes. Yes, I am. Why? Because I legitimately waited. I sat and took every confluences needed. All the confluence needed. I watched market manipulate itself, sweep relative equal lows way over yonder, and then from that, rally higher. This is a valid move. This is what I predicted to begin with. This works. And through the confluences, that price came back down into equilibrium, broke structure on the fair value gap, filled the fair value gap, and then from there, rallied after respecting equilibrium. We should see it continue moving higher. I think this is a very, very good trade. We shall see. That being the case, I'm going to pause the video now. And I will be right back. That does not look good, but I know it's right. I'm not changing anything. We might come out with 1,700. We might lose 1,300. I accept that risk. This looks way lesser than this does, too. Like, our first take profit is way the flip up there. So, we shall see. That being the case, BRP. Whoops. Sorry about that. I did not mean for that to occur the way it did. Oops. I also thought we were about to get stopped out here. We've got 5 seconds for that to close. We might get stopped out on the next candle or the candle after that. Not entirely sure. We've been in a downtrend for a minute now. The trade idea was correct. I just held on to it for too long. I should have cut my losses in here. Dumb mistake on my part. I learned a lot, and I am a little bit more confident in doing this now. Actually getting the confluences needed to enter the trade in the first place. I need to understand and be aware on where I need to exit the market and not just let it fall to my stop loss. Yeah. We got 15 minutes before stream starts. I've been patiently waiting this whole time for price to come back up and like cap up above this so I can leave. I had plenty of opportunity to do so, and if I get stopped out, it's entirely my fault, and I understand that. My trade idea was correct, though. There I go, I got stopped out. That's okay. That was by spread. No biggie, got stopped out on that as well. No problem. That was the month of June. We failed it. that's okay though, because I learned a lot. I can say happily that I did learn a lot in the month of June. Um, that being said, next month is a complete refresh. Like, I'm this weekend gonna go into my accounts and reset them completely to 0 because I'd like to see where is this right here? Hi, yes, hello. I'd like to see stuff. I'd like to see them set to 0 again, and then from there progress that I can look with my own eyes, reset the entire account history and everything like that, so that way it's completely fresh and brand new on both Trade Locker and Trading View. That way, when I go back into trading July, it's as easy as hopping in and going, hey, I have trades. Let's go ahead and just clean slate everything. I failed twice now, and I've learned a lot. I think I can pass. I think I can. The flame is still there. My faith is still on. I gotta get there. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned for stream. We stream in 15 minutes. I'll see you guys Monday. I'll see you next time.